Hello everyone and welcome back to another Pickle Madness video. Today we're going to be tackling a category of paddles beloved by many for their forgiving nature and huge hitting surfaces, the wide body. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the top 5 wide body pickleball paddles that are truly standing out for the first half of 2025. But first, what defines a wide body? Generally, we're talking about paddles around 8 inches wide, sometimes a bit more, that give you a little bit of that extra horizontal real estate compared to standard or elongated shapes. This often translates to increased sweet spot, consistency, better blocking capabilities, faster hand speed at the net, but not as powerful drives and putaways, while of course lacking a bit of reach. But the world of wide bodies in 2025 is incredibly diverse. We're seeing everything like plush foam cores and various types of foam honeycomb core combos. Different handle lengths, surface materials, and core thicknesses create vastly different playing experiences. Now, we've spent a lot of time on the courts testing the latest offerings, and we've narrowed it down to 5 that truly impress. So I'm going to break down the tech, the feel, and how they play across the different aspects of the game, like dinking, drop shots, drives, spin, and who each the paddle is best suited for. So let's get started with our number 5 pick. This is the Gearbox Pro Ultimate Hyper. This is the 16mm. So this paddle is from a brand renowned for its unique core technology. The Gearbox Pro Ultimate Hyper comes in at a 16mm thickness, and it stands apart with its SST or solid span technology core. Now, instead of traditional polymer honeycomb, Gearbox uses a patented system of carbon fiber chambers. So this construction method results in paddles known for their incredible durability, solid feel, and distinct sound. Now, while Gearbox is often associated with thinner and more powerful paddles like the Pro Power Elongated series, this 16mm Pro Ultimate Hyper leans more towards the control and stability within the Gearbox family, making it a stronger contender in the wide body discussion. So what does the 16mm SST core feel like in this Pro Ultimate Hyper? I would say it provides a very solid connected feel, but definitely softer and more dampened compared to the Gearbox's thinner 14mm options. It's not plush like foam, but it absorbs vibration very well, which offers a comfortable hitting experience without feeling too vague. You still get that characteristic Gearbox crispness, but it's just dialed back a notch for enhanced control. The sound is also a little bit lower pitched than thinner Gearbox models. But on the court, the Pro Ultimate Hyper 16mm excels in stability and consistency. That SST core makes the sweet spot feel uniform across a large area, and it often feels incredibly solid against hard hit balls during blocks and volleys. It doesn't twist too much on and off the center hits, and the spin generation is very good thanks to Gearbox's textured carbon fiber face technology. You can definitely shape the ball and generate ample spin on serves and drives. However, as is the case with almost all edgeless paddles, shots that connect on the outskirts of the sweet spot area die a bit harder than they do with paddles that have edge guards. So where does this fit in terms of power? Being 16mm, it's more control focused than Gearbox's power lines, but it is still very powerful. As with other Gearbox paddles, the dwell time is a bit shorter than competitors because the ball just rockets so quickly off the paddle face. This is great when you are up at the net for drives and drops. You will need to think a little harder about getting the paddle around the ball for topspin. Now, who is the Gearbox Pro Ultimate Hyper, the 16mm, for? I would say it's ideal for players who love durable, solid feel of Gearbox paddles but want a little bit more control and a slightly softer impact than the thinner models. Now, if you value stability, consistency, good spin, and a large effective sweet spot without excessive power, this is a great option. It's also great for players who might have found other Gearbox paddles a little bit too harsh or too powerful. It's a workhorse paddle that delivers reliable performance across the board. However, if you are looking for more control than power, this is probably not the paddle for you. Yes, it is more controllable than other Gearbox Pro Series models, but it's not more controllable than other paddles on the list. All right, now coming in at number 4, we have the Selkerk Labs Project 008 Maxima. So this paddle is carved out in its own niche with an interesting combination of materials and design. The Selkirk Labs Project 008 Maxima is the first of the Maxima shape, and it finally brings something to the table that previous Selkirk wide bodies have been missing, and that is the long handle. So what makes the 008 Maxima special within the Selkirk lineup? Well, 2 main things. 1, its shape, and 2, its core. So first, the shape combines an 8-inch wide Maxima face with an exceptionally long 5.7-inch handle. This is a rare and welcome combination, offering the forgiveness of a wide body with ample room for comfortable two-handed backhands, something that many wide body paddles lack, though this shape will certainly not be for every player. The long handle on a wide body paddle is definitely a unique feel that is not very common, so many players will not immediately feel familiar with the Maxima shape. However, I think this shape does have the potential to gain a lot of popularity. Now, second, and perhaps more importantly than the shape alone, is the pure foam core. This isn't just edge foam, the entire 16mm core is foam. And critically, unlike some other foam paddles, which include fiberglass layers, Selkirk Labs lets you feel the direct effect of that foam. There isn't a distinct hard layer right under the face dominating the feel. This pure foam core results in an incredibly soft, plush, and dampened feel on impact. It's one of the softest feeling premium paddles on the market, and the ball feels like it sinks into the paddle face, which provides exceptional dwell time. It's like laying down in one of those memory foam beds. When the ball hits you, you can feel the foam sink in a bit. Now, this translates directly into elite level touch and control. Dinks, drops, resets, they all feel pretty intuitive. You feel very connected to the ball, allowing for precise placement and effortless absorption of pace. This sound is a very muted, like a soft thump, rather than a crisp pop. Now, performance-wise, the Maxima is a control player's dream. The wide body shape naturally provides a generous sweet spot, and the foam core enhances this forgiveness, which makes off-center hits feel a little less jarring. Now, as I mentioned in our deep dive, adding a bit of lead tape around the perimeter can make this large sweet spot feel even more consistent and stable. The long handle is a game changer for two-handed backhand players. The unavoidable trade-off for all the plushness and control is power. So the 008 Maxima is definitely not a power paddle. The absorbent foam core simply just doesn't provide that much pop. So you do need a solid swing to generate a lot of power on drives and serves. And if you rely on your paddle to provide easy power, then this probably isn't a good option for you. Now, adding weight to this paddle is a good way to open up the sweet spot even more and get a little bit more power. I tried adding 0.1 ounces of weight to each side, and I definitely noticed more power. The shape of this paddle honestly makes you feel like you're wielding Thor's hammer. Now, who should consider the Selkirk Labs 008 Maxima? Well, it's perfect for players who prioritize touch, feel, and control above all else. If you love a soft, dampened feel and excel in the short game, this paddle will feel amazing. And if you use a two-handed backhand and want a forgiving wide body shape, I would say it's arguably one of the best options available, as there are very few wide body paddles out there with a 5.7-inch handle. The 008 Maxima comes with a premium labs price tag of $288, but remember, you can use code INF-MADNESS, that's all capital, at checkout for a free gift card. All right, now we have the Carbon True Foam Genesis 2. Coming in at number 3. So this represents a true Gen 4 technology leap. The Carbon eliminated the honeycomb core entirely, creating the first tournament-approved paddle with 100% proprietary high-density foam core. Now, let's talk about feel and performance. The 100% foam core offers excellent vibration, dampening, and comfort, though its muted response requires adjustment compared to crisp honeycomb paddles. But spin is a major highlight. Carbon says the core itself flexes and enhances dwell time, which generates massive, long-lasting spin potential that isn't solely reliant on the T700 raw carbon fiber peel ply surface texture. The power can definitely be described as controlled power, which packs a little more punch than Carbon's X series, but it's still not a true power paddle. The key is the non-linear power profile due to a fiberglass layer under the surface near the center. I actually felt like the pop on softer shots was more present than on hard drives and putaways. It might take a few hours of play to get used to, but once you do, it opens up a whole new style of gameplay. Now, it is only offered in 14mm thickness, and Carbon claims their tech allows fine-tuning performance within the foam structure itself, eliminating the need for multiple thicknesses. The swing weight is about average, but definitely not on the lower end for wide bodies, at around 114.5 for the Genesis 2 wide body, enhancing stability and plow through, but requiring adjustment for fast hands. Overall, expect top-tier spin, great dampening and comfort, noticeable controlled power with a unique feel, excellent stability, and a large sweet spot. I personally think the 2 shape is the best of the True Foam series. Now, who is this paddle good for? It's for the all-court player seeking cutting-edge tech, durability, and spin while wanting usable power beyond typical control paddles. Players must be willing to adapt to its unique feel and performance, but at $279.99, it's a premium Gen 4 investment. Many of the top tier paddles these days are being priced at $280, so it's not surprising. Now, coming in at number 2, we have the Yola Scorpius Pro 4 14mm. This paddle packs a serious punch, focusing specifically on power and pop within its forgiving 8-inch wide shape. Now let's break down the tech driving of this performance. At its heart, the 14mm honeycomb propulsion core is designed to respond quickly behind the ball for increased speed. This is surrounded by Yola's hyperfoam edge wall, which actively expands the sweet spot, ensuring smoother and more powerful strikes, even on off-center hits. But the big story for the Pro 4 might be the new Tech Flex Power, or TFP technology. This involves engineering a narrower throat inside the paddle, allowing for more flex upon impact and translating directly to increased power potential. Below this narrower throat, Yola has strategically placed foam, which further enhances the sweet spot feel and adds plow-through ability, making those slightly mishit blocks or volleys still feel pretty solid. Now, I definitely feel like this new technology is an improvement over the previous 3S series because the paddle feels more full, whereas the 3S felt a little more hollow and not quite as stable. On the court, expect the Scorpius Pro 4 14mm to feel more powerful and responsive. The combination of the propulsion core and the flex from the TFP throat and the 14mm thickness means drives and serves will come off with a lot of power. The hyperfoam edge wall and foam below the throat work together to create a large, consistent sweet spot with pretty good stability, which is essential for managing the paddle's power. Now, when dinking, if you miss the center of the paddle, there is definitely a much more expanded sweet spot to help you out. Especially if you hit one of the foam inserts in the throat area, you can actually feel the ball jump off the face a lot more than it would on a paddle without this technology. Now, who is this paddle best suited for? I would say it's best for the aggressive player who wants significant power and pop combined with high levels of spin, all within the forgiving framework and wide body shape. If you like to attack, hit hard drives, and generate heavy spin, but appreciate the larger hitting area and stability for net play and blocks, then this is the perfect choice for you. It's for players who want to dictate points offensively, but need a paddle that remains maneuverable and forgiving during fast exchanges. Like Yola's other Pro 4 paddles, the Scorpius retails for $279.99. And claiming the coveted #1 spot in our early 2025 wide body roundup is the Pickleball Apes Pulse V. At its foundation, the Pulse V features a robust 16.5mm narrow cell honeycomb poly core, a touch thicker than many standard offerings, making it feel slightly more solid, though also a bit heavier. Now, what makes this paddle is so great is the construction around it. The dual edge foam is integrated to swallow up vibrations and expand the sweet spot, while a carbon fiber ring grid acts like an exoskeleton, reinforcing the foam in the perimeter. This build is similar to Yola's propulsion core, but it is a bit less powerful. The hitting surface is another point of distinction. A polyaramid fiber weave, which is a fancy way of saying Kevlar blended with nylon. Out of this box, the face feels quite stiff, but as you play, it begins to relax and soften, striking a nice balance between ball grip for spin and impressive durability. But the real magic of the Pulse V lies in its break-in period. This paddle genuinely transforms. After about 10 or more hours on the court, it opens up. The feel becomes noticeably softer, the ball seems to linger on the face just a fraction longer, and even the sound deepens, becoming more boom-like. The paddle becomes a little bit more powerful, just enough to lean into that power category, but not so much that it becomes out of control. It feels like the perfect balance between power and control. If you want, you can add some weight for even more power, but personally, I don't think the Pulse V needs it, and it already feels pretty balanced. So who is the Pickleball Apes Pulse V for? It's tailor-made for the versatile all-court player who's looking for more than just static performance. If you want a durable, stable wide body that offers a unique journey, starting with control and evolving to offer more power as it gets seasoned, the Pulse V is truly compelling. Its maneuverability shines at the net, and that post break-in power makes it a threat from all over the court. This is for the player who appreciates a paddle that grows with them, rewarding consistent play with enhanced capabilities. But probably the biggest thing that sets the Pulse V aside from other paddles on this list is the price. Coming in at $179.99 with 10% off, the Pulse V offers the best value for performance in this list. All right, so what do you think of our list? Are there any other wide body paddles you think should be on here? Let me know your experiences and your opinions down in the comments below. I always appreciate the discussion and hearing about what you're playing with. And if you found this breakdown helpful, please smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future reviews and pickleball content. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.